Hey everybody. This is Professor Woodley, Miss Donna. Um okay, so I just wanted to kind of give you an image and an example of just this little simple still life as far as us talking about you doing your 10 object still life with no outlines. This is kind of a quick and dirty example of that. Uh, and I'll demonstrate this, but I just wanted you to see what the end result is, um, so that you can see this with no outlines. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another one of these on the same sheet of paper, and I'm using all sorts of things. So I'm using the charcoal pen, the graphite pencils. Um, you just have to kind of do trial and error. I'm using the charcoal pencil here. And then I have some other graphites that I'm using. I'm using the blending tool. You should have this. I'm not really using this cloth, but if you use this compressed charcoal, which I don't recommend you use, I think you can do what you need to do using the graphite pencils and the charcoal pencil. I'm using a kneaded eraser. So, yeah, just, play around with those and figure out the best way for you. Okay. Um, so I'm going to start with a 2B graphite pencil. Um, and I'll just continue this. It'll probably be a smaller version of this, but I'm going to go ahead and do a quick gesture. So we have our, now this would have been what we would have been working on once we returned to class after spring break. But some things happened. Oh, I don't know if I like that square. Let me adjust that a little bit. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go as far as over here. Sometimes you might have to do some adjusting. Now I'm doing this. I'm not even looking at a still life. So yeah, we can do that. I think that'll work. Um, so I'm doing this out of my head. And then in that instant, a lot of times, I know I always have to kind of self correct when I'm coming out of my head, because if it doesn't look right to me, then I got to change it. Okay. So the way to eliminate your outlines. So this. I'm using the HB pencil because it's a little bit more loose. Of the lead is a little bit more loose than the 2B. And I'm just gonna kind of coat this in the value that I want it to have, with the value that I want it to have. Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and do this, just kind of reinforce, because I want this to be kind of a dark value. So I'm just going to put my little hatching here. Going to get rid of any outlines that I see, especially in this particular, like here, and the bottom line. Actually, you don't really have to worry about that bottom line too much, because you're going to create a shadow under that line. Once you start to look at your still life, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let me try another. I'll try this one. Oh yeah, this one is better. This is darker. This is a 4B. 4B is darker. So I want it to be, I guess it's about the same value as what I have there. So then I'm going to take my blending tool and I'm just going to blend into that outline so that you can't see it. And it doesn't matter if you go outside the lines, just because you can always use your kneaded eraser to get rid of whatever you went outside of the lines with. So that's that. I'm going to use the kneaded eraser to kind of come and clean that up a bit. Again, I'm not worried about not worried at all, which I can erase it, but I'm not worried at all about this bottom part. So what do I do now? I'm going to come around this way and I'm going to go ahead and create my shadow here. Okay. Make that go slightly around there. Now I'm going to take this and I'll go ahead and do the same thing here. All right. So then this comes along. This comes out here. Actually, it should come about out there. And then that goes there. Okay. I could blend that a little bit. I could blend it a little bit. All right. So now I have this lighter value here. So I'm going to take one of these others. Let's see, what is this? This is a 2B. I'll take a 2B and I'm going to actually just kind of come a little bit lighter around here. And then I'm going to blend this so you'll be able to see how I can get rid of that outline. So now I'm just pretty much merging the two sides of the boxes, right? So here, here, and right here. Can I lighten this up a little bit? Yeah, I can lighten it up a little bit. What can I do to do that? I'm gonna lighten that up just a little bit. So I'll lighten that up and then I'll use a different part of you can also wipe this blending tool off. So I'm going to use the other end of the blending tool to keep the existing charcoal from contaminating. But I do want this to be a lighter value than what is than this. So I want this to be a lighter value than that. So I'm doing that. And then I do want this box to be the lightest, one of the lightest parts of the box. This side and then the top part. I want it to be the lightest part to the box. Okay. You have to be careful with your hands dragging over the drawing because it's easy for it to get contaminated. Okay, so you see I've eliminated this side. I've eliminated that outline. I've eliminated all of these outlines by using the graphite pencil to just kind of blend everything in. So now I'm left with, like, let's say 5 lines. This one, and then actually, yeah, 5. This one, a portion of that one, and that one. 4, sorry, 4. What I'm gonna opt to do, I have a vase in the back. I'm going to shorten this vase. This one is a bit taller, but I don't want this to run into this. So I'm just going to make a shorter version of the vase, a shorter and wider version. Yeah. If this doesn't look right, this is not your professor doing it. Hee 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 hee. Little art humor. Okay. Okay. That'll work for now. So, actually, let me go ahead and handle this. See some stuff that already needs to be adjusted here. So this is the inside of my vase. I would want to blend that. And actually, yeah, let me go ahead and blend that. And then I'm going to take my charcoal pencil and I'm going to create a darker value in that groove where it comes in. And then I'm going to take this graphite pencil and I'm just going to fill everything else in. And I want to make sure I get these corners here. But essentially what I'm doing is I think I need to bring this down too. So we'll do that. So that's going to be darker. This is going to come to a point. And then we have all of this here. I think this needs to be wider. Again, I'm coming off my head, you guys, so can become a challenge sometimes to get things even when the way that they need to be. All right, so now I want to kind of blend all of this. So I'll go ahead and blend this. And then I want to distinguish between the inside of that vase by leaving this little white value here, lighter value, I should say. So now I've gotten rid of more lines. I might erase that later. And then what I want to do is create a light source somewhere on this vase. So I'm just gonna opt to, let's go over here, because if the light source is coming this way, then there's gonna be some lightness like right here. Okay. All right. Make that a little bit lighter. Okay, so let me get rid of this. That was a wrong move. Here we go. All right, so now that's my vase. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and fill this in here, because we want the inside of the vase to be kind of dark. So that's my inside, and then I'll take my kneaded eraser and also create kind of a way to create. With value, lights and darks work well together. So if I can manage to get like a sliver of a light value in there in the vase, it'll add more depth to it. Lights and darks and value always work really well together when you're either, no matter what the medium. Okay, so now I have one thing left. I have this circle, this ball left. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna eliminate these lines I'm just gonna eliminate them. So I'm gonna take them away, because then now you can see what this is. It's totally implied. My point is here. So now you can see that that's a full cube, and you can see the objects as opposed to, you can see the mass as opposed to the shapes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my circle. I'm going to make this one small. Okay. I'll fill this in. I want it to start to be darker here because, as I said before, just a few seconds ago, lights and darks against each other work really well together. Okay, so we're doing that, we're doing that. So we'll make half of this a little bit lighter. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna take my blending tool. And then I'm going to take my kneaded eraser and find a new clean spot where I can get this going. Here. Okay, let me do a little bit of repair here. All right, so that's that. What I can do now is I can take my 4B. Nope, I'm gonna need my charcoal pencil, and I'll go ahead and make that shadow right here. Okay. And okay, so that's not a perfect circle, but you get the idea. So, okay, so this is your example. This is your demo for, let me zoom in a little bit if I can. Oh, maybe I can't. But this is a good example of how you get rid of the outlines. If you have any questions, let me know. Go ahead and start your still life drawing. Again, it's going to be 10 objects, simple and complex shapes. Set it up. If you can set it up on a white surface, like a white sheet, that would be awesome. But make sure you set it up somewhere where it won't be disturbed, in case it takes you more than one day. And then go ahead and do a value drawing of your still life on the large drawing paper. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good time drawing.